What if everything you've been told about nursing homes isn't the full story? We often hear that moving into a facility after 70 means safety, care, and peace of mind. But what if, behind the polished brochures and smiling staff, there's a reality few people ever talk about? What if you, or someone you love, moves in, and the hardest part isn't the room or the meals? It's the slow loss of dignity, privacy, and even connection? Today we're asking the tough question. Is the move into a nursing home a solution, or a silent heartbreak? Stick around, because truth number 3 is something most families don't realize until it's too late. Let's talk about two people. Eleanor, 78, moved into a nursing home after a fall. She missed her garden, her morning rituals, and the sound of family around the house. Within weeks, she stopped smiling, stopped asking questions, just faded into the background. Then there's George, 82. He lives in a small care facility, but his daughter visits weekly. He decorates his room with family photos. The staff know him by name. He still feels seen. The difference? It's not money or medicine. It's what no one tells you about how these places really work. What gets lost, what gets overlooked, and what it takes to stay truly alive inside those walls. In this video, you'll learn 5 hidden truths about nursing homes. Truths most families don't find out until they're already deep in the decision. And if you're still watching at truth number 3, you'll understand why some seniors never recover from the move. Before we dive in, have you or someone you love faced this decision? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more honest conversations about aging with dignity. Truth 1, it's not always about care. On paper, nursing homes are about one thing: care. They promise 24/7 assistance, safety, meals, and medication, especially for seniors who can't live independently. But the harsh truth? For many residents, care becomes more of a schedule than a relationship. Let's look at Ruth, 79. Her family found a well-reviewed facility nearby. The website listed everything: nursing staff, daily activities, fresh meals. It seemed perfect. But just 2 weeks in, Ruth started calling less. She wasn't going outside. Her favorite snacks were never offered, and she felt embarrassed asking for help because the staff always seemed too busy. When her daughter finally visited, she found Ruth sitting in her room in silence, still wearing the same nightgown from the night before. It wasn't abuse. No one was yelling. But it wasn't care either. Why this happens? The reality is, many nursing homes today are understaffed and overburdened. One nurse aide might be responsible for 10 to 15 residents at a time, leaving little room for conversation, comfort, or patience. Daily care becomes a checklist. Did they eat? Are they dressed? Meds delivered? But what about emotional care? Dignity? Being treated like a person, not a task? These things don't always make the checklist. Quiet consequences. Without meaningful attention, many seniors begin to feel invisible. Their needs are met, but no one looks them in the eyes. Frustrated, simple requests take hours. Depressed, days blur together, routines replace purpose. And this lack of personal care can lead to rapid cognitive decline, increased fall risk, and even premature death. Studies have shown that emotional neglect can age the body just as much as physical illness. What you can do. If you or your loved one is moving into a nursing home, here are a few important questions to ask. What is the staff-to-resident ratio on each shift? How many residents does each aide support per day? Is there a consistent staff member assigned to your room, or does it change daily? And once inside, don't just look at the schedule. Watch for: are staff members making eye contact and using names? Do residents seem engaged or withdrawn? Is your loved one getting more than just meals and meds? Because real care isn't just about being fed or washed. It's about being seen, heard, and valued every single day. Truth 2, the emotional toll of sudden displacement. Imagine waking up one morning and your favorite mug is gone. The creaky hallway is silent. There's no kitchen scent, no neighbor's knock. Instead, you're surrounded by strangers, alarms, and routines that aren't yours. That's the reality for many seniors entering a nursing home. Not just a change in address, but a sudden erasure of everything familiar. Let's talk about Margaret, 82. After a minor stroke, her doctor recommended assisted care. Within days, her family packed up her apartment and moved her into a nursing home. It was clean, well-staffed, but it wasn't home. Her garden, her cat, her nightly tea on the balcony, gone. In the first week, she stopped eating much. She stayed in her room. When asked how she felt, she said quietly, "I feel like I disappeared." Why this happens? Moving after 70 is never just physical. It's emotional displacement. Our surroundings anchor us. They remind us of who we are, what we love, and how we belong. So when seniors are suddenly relocated, especially without time to process, it can trigger disorientation, grief, anxiety, loss of identity. Clinical studies show that sudden transitions in late life can accelerate cognitive decline, increase fall risk, and even lead to post-relocation depression, a condition many caregivers overlook. But it's not just the environment. It's also the loss of control. From choosing what to eat, when to wake up, or even which pillow to sleep on, decisions are suddenly made by others. For someone who's lived 70+ years with autonomy, that shift can be devastating. Without proper emotional support, many seniors begin to shut down, not from illness but from invisibility. What you can do before any move: involve your loved one in every step, from touring homes to packing. Ask them what feels like home, and try to bring those elements: photos, quilts, music. Avoid rushing. If possible, introduce the new place gradually with short visits or day stays. Once inside, help create a routine that reflects them, not just the facility. Visit regularly in the first few weeks, especially during meal times. Encourage staff to call them by name and learn their stories. Because home isn't just a roof. It's the feeling of belonging, and every human deserves that, even in a new place. Truth 3. Neglect can look polite. When we think of nursing home neglect, we picture something obvious: unclean rooms, missed meals, or outright mistreatment. But the truth is, neglect often wears a smile. It doesn't always look cruel. Sometimes it sounds like, "We'll get to it soon. She didn't ask for help. We're a little short-staffed today." Let's talk about Sam, 85. He was quiet. Never wanted to bother anyone. The staff liked him because he didn't complain. But behind the politeness, he was missing meals, sitting in wet clothes for hours, and slowly withdrawing. His daughter only found out after she visited unannounced. His sheets hadn't been changed in days. His toenails were overgrown. And yet, every nurse greeted her with a smile and said, "He's doing fine." Why it's so easy to miss. In busy facilities, attention goes to the loudest needs. So seniors who stay quiet, who don't push the call button, who don't argue, are often unintentionally overlooked. This is especially dangerous because dehydration and malnutrition can set in without obvious signs. Depression often masks itself as tiredness. Medical conditions worsen silently when no one is watching closely. And it all happens in plain sight, under fluorescent lights and friendly greetings. The culture of compliance. Some nursing homes prioritize efficiency over empathy. When staff are trained to hit quotas and finish rounds quickly, they start seeing residents as tasks, not people. That's when neglect becomes institutional. You won't see yelling or bruises. You'll see residents slumped in wheelchairs with no stimulation. You'll hear call bells ring for 20 minutes before someone responds. You'll smell reheated meals instead of fresh food. And you'll be told, politely, "We're doing our best." What you can do: visit at unpredictable times, not just during scheduled hours. Look beyond the surface. Is your loved one groomed? Engaged? Getting timely help? Ask direct questions. When was the last time they were bathed? Do you track food intake for quieter residents? How do you monitor for depression or withdrawal? Build relationships with staff, but also advocate firmly when needed. Your loved one might not speak up. You must, because polite neglect is still neglect. And it's often the kind that breaks someone slowly without anyone noticing, until it's too late. Truth 4. Loss of independence isn't always physical. When we think about independence after 70, we often focus on mobility, walking, bathing, dressing. But the harsh reality in many nursing homes is that independence is often taken long before a person loses physical ability. Let's meet Clara, 78. She moved into a care facility after a minor fall. She could still dress herself, cook simple meals, and handle her medication. But within weeks, she was being dressed by staff, given scheduled meals, and told when to sleep. No one asked if she wanted help. It was just assumed she needed it. And the worst part? She started believing it too. The hidden consequences. When seniors are overhelped, even with good intentions, they can experience loss of confidence, decreased motivation, faster physical decline. Why? Because once the brain thinks it's no longer in control, the body follows. Studies show that seniors who maintain small daily responsibilities, like watering plants or choosing their own clothes, experience better cognitive health, lower depression rates, and slower aging than those who have everything done for them. So when nursing homes create one-size-fits-all routines, they may unknowingly rob residents of the very autonomy that keeps them alive longer. Why it's common. Many facilities are risk-averse. They fear falls, legal issues, complaints, so they err on the side of control. Locked kitchens, set wake-up times, no unsupervised movement. But safety without dignity is not safety at all. It's quiet confinement. And for a proud generation that's worked hard, raised families, and lived full lives, being treated like passive recipients can feel dehumanizing. What you can do? Ask the facility. What decisions can residents make daily? Can they choose when to shower, what to wear, or when to eat? Encourage independence. Label drawers so they can dress themselves. Keep a small plant or task they can manage on their own. Let them say no to help, even if it takes them longer. Because every small choice, a spoon, a slipper, a song, is a thread in their sense of self. The goal isn't just to keep them alive. It's to let them live, with choice, dignity, and pride. Truth 5. Real connection is rare and life-saving. Most nursing homes talk about community. You'll see group activities on the calendar. Bingo, arts and crafts, weekly sing-alongs. But behind the scheduled events, there's often a silent truth. Many residents still feel painfully alone. Let's meet Harold, 88. After losing his wife, Harold moved into a reputable nursing facility. His family thought the social atmosphere would help. There were friendly staff, shared meals, even a recreation room. But Harold wasn't making friends. The conversations felt shallow. The activities scripted. Most residents were either much older, mentally withdrawn, or uninterested in talking. He often sat alone by the window watching others pass. One day, a volunteer asked him about his career. Harold smiled, for the first time in weeks. That 10-minute conversation lit something in him. What? Because it wasn't scheduled. It wasn't polite small talk. It was real connection. The loneliness epidemic. Loneliness is now considered as deadly as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. And for seniors in nursing homes, it's more common than you think. Research shows nearly 60% of residents report feeling lonely. Loneliness is linked to higher risk of heart disease, cognitive decline, depression, and early death. What's worse? This loneliness often happens in rooms full of people. What? Because true connection isn't about proximity. It's about feeling seen, heard, and valued. What gets in the way? Overworked staff who don't have time for meaningful chats. Cognitive gaps between residents, making conversation harder. Emotional walls built from grief, trauma, or loss of purpose. Even family visits can feel brief and task-focused. Do you need new clothes? How was lunch? Okay, see you next week. But what seniors crave is something deeper. Tell me your favorite memory. What made you smile this week? Do you ever miss the sound of rain on your old porch? What you can do. Be fully present during visits. No phones. No rush. Just time. Ask meaningful questions and listen like it matters because it does. Encourage staff to learn resident stories, not just their meds. Help create opportunities for peer bonds, book clubs, shared music, legacy projects. Because real connection isn't a luxury. It's medicine. For the heart. For the brain. For the soul. And sometimes just one real conversation can give someone the will to keep going. If you stayed with me through this video, thank you. What we just talked about isn't comfortable. It's not the glossy brochure version of aging. It's the quiet, often painful reality that many seniors face after moving into a nursing home. And it's exactly why this conversation matters. Let's pause and reflect on the 5 hard truths we uncovered. It's emotionally harder than expected. The loss of home, routines, and familiar smells or sounds can create a deep emotional disorientation. For many, it feels like losing control of their own life. You may lose control over simple things. Things like when you eat, what you wear, or whether you take a walk or stay in bed. In the name of efficiency or safety, personal choice often disappears. Neglect isn't always loud. It doesn't always show up as abuse or obvious mistreatment. Sometimes, it's the silence, the lack of meaningful engagement, rushed interactions, or being left alone day after day. Independence fades before mobility does. Even seniors who are capable get over-assisted, unintentionally encouraged to stop trying. When your choices are quietly taken from you, your spirit often goes with them. Connection is rare, but life-saving. Bingo nights and group lunches don't guarantee connection. It's about being seen, heard, understood. Without that, even the best facilities can feel like isolation chambers. But here's what I want to leave you with. These truths aren't here to scare you. They're here to empower you. Because once we see the problem, we can start doing something about it. If you're a senior, start having open conversations with your family now. Write down what matters to you, what you want to keep even if you ever move into a care facility. If you're a family member, don't just ask how your loved one is doing. Ask what made you feel alive this week. Show up with your heart, not just your calendar. If you're a caregiver or nurse, you are the front line, and your voice matters. Small acts of kindness and dignity change lives more than you realize. Because nursing homes don't have to be cold. They don't have to be lonely. They can be places of community, legacy, laughter, even joy. But only if we stop pretending and start talking. So tell me, which of these truths resonated with you the most? Have you experienced them personally? Seen them happen to a parent or grandparent? Let's open the conversation in the comments. Your story might be the one that helps someone else prepare better or feel less alone. And if you found this helpful, please tap subscribe and turn on the bell. We talk honestly here. With care, clarity, and community, aging doesn't have to mean fading. Not if we face it together.